So you're thinking about watching some XFL football this weekend, but you're not quite sure who to cheer for. I'm going to let you know which former Buffalo Bills players play for which teams and maybe help you decide which XFL team you will cheer for this weekend. Welcome to Billievers Talk. My name is Joe, and welcome to this XFL edition of Billievers Talk, where we're going to talk about the coming up weekend and season for the XFL. Again, thank you guys for joining me. My name is Joe. If you're new to this channel, you want to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Guys, we have you covered on all Buffalo Bills and Buffalo sports news, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button. After you hit that subscribe button, go ahead and like this video, leave a comment, and hit that notification bell. Notifies you when we put up new content, whether it be on the Bills, say versus the Buttes, the Bulls, any of that. So again, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and leave a comment. Tell me what you think about the upcoming XFL season. That's right. Normally the week after the Super Bowl, we begin to realize that we're not going to have meaningful football again until August. Well, in this case, that's not true. Now, it's not the NFL, but you better believe that these players that are playing in the XFL have something to prove, and they're going to be giving it their all come this weekend. So we have a little bit of football after the Super Bowl if you're into the XFL. Again, the XFL second stint, they tried this about 10 years ago. Vince McMahon and company tried this and it failed miserably. They're going to try it again. Now, this time, Vince McMahon did it a little differently, hopefully for the better. Learned some mistakes from the last time, learned some mistakes from the AAF. I'm not here to talk too much about the actual XFL league. There's plenty of YouTube videos and ways to get content on the XFL, some rule changes that sound interesting, some things like that. I'm going to tell you which ex-Buffalo Bills players are going to be playing for the XFL. There's actually 13 players in all, so let's get right into it. First, I'm going to give you the team names. A lot of times people like team names, and that's how they select who they're going to be cheering for. So let's go through the team names in the XFL. Now, in the XFL, there are going to be 8 teams. So we're going to run down them real quick, and then we're going to talk about which players, ex-Buffalo Bills players, are on what team. So first, you got the Dallas Renegades. Then you got the DC Defenders, Houston Roughnecks, LA Wildcats, New York Guardians, St. Louis Battlehawks, Seattle Dragons, and the Tampa Bay Vipers. So those are your 8 teams. So you can choose who you would like to cheer for out of those 8 teams by the team name, or you can think about what ex-Buffalo Bills players are playing for those teams. That's what I'm going to do when I pick which team I'm going to cheer for. I'm probably going to cheer for the Buffalo Bills players more than the actual teams themselves. I want to see the ex-Bills players do well in their new surroundings, and that starts with the team with the most Buffalo Bills on it, and that's the DC Defenders. The DC Defenders go into the first XFL season with 6 ex-Buffalo Bills players on them. So, and you better believe I'm going to be watching these players to see who gets the start at quarterback. 2 ex-Buffalo Bills quarterbacks on this team will start at the quarterback position. The first one, Cardell Jones, used to play for Ohio State, was a 4th-round draft pick in 2016 by the Buffalo Bills, played in 1 game for the Buffalo Bills in 2016. And while in that game, just threw an interception. Not much to talk about when it comes to Cardell Jones playing for the Buffalo Bills. But that 1 game of experience is more than the other guy has, and that's Tyree Jackson. Tyree Jackson was a 2019 undrafted free agent that we picked up after the draft, and he was a part of this team while there was a 90-man roster. Couldn't quite make the 53-man roster after we had to do our cuts. But Tyree Jackson, a University of Buffalo product. So we've been following this young man's career for a few years now. And in this guy's career, we noticed that he is a raw talent, right? He has a huge arm. A lot of people made some comparisons to Josh Allen when they were in the draft process. Huge arm, not the most accurate guy, but now he has someone who's going to show him the ropes. Remember, Tyree Jackson, kind of like Josh Allen, didn't really have too much mentorship leading up to his college football days. So maybe a little mentorship will help help with him get better in accuracy and help him with just that raw talent and be able to put some touch on the ball when he needs to and do the things that he needs to do, become a decent, if not good, quarterback in the XFL. So I'm interested to see which one of those two quarterbacks does get the start for the DC Defenders. Next, you have safety Shamarko Thomas. Played for the Buffalo Bills a little bit in the late 2010s, mostly a practice squad player. Wide receiver Malachi Dupree. Malachi Dupree was on the Buffalo Bills practice squad in 2017 and 2018. Offensive lineman DeAndre Wesley. DeAndre Wesley was on the Buffalo Bills practice squad for 2017 and 2018 and in parts of 2019, so has spent some time with the Buffalo Bills. And then tight end Kyrie Lee will also be playing for the DC Defenders. Played 18 games for the Buffalo Bills, known more for his blocking ability than his pass catching. In 2018, he had one catch for the Buffalo Bills, so we definitely used him more as a run blocker. Be interested to see his role in the XFL in a game that seems like by the rules they're going to make it more wide open, right? More offensively friendly, and you want those pass catching tight ends. But those are the 6 names, the 6 ex-Buffalo Bills players who will be playing for the DC Defenders. With Tyree Jackson on this list, I have to lean a little bit towards the DC Defenders as far as teams that I am going to be rooting for, just because of the University of Buffalo experience you have there, and then the Buffalo Bills both being there. And that's the same thing that I'm going to say for another guy later on this list as well. But let's move on to our next team that has a few Buffalo Bills players on it, and that's going to be the Seattle Dragons. The Seattle Dragons come in with 3 ex-Buffalo Bills players on their team. The first of which is Austin Proehl, wide receiver, a 7th round draft pick in the 2018 NFL Draft by the Buffalo Bills. Many of you know the Proehl name because his father was wide receiver Ricky Proehl of the Carolina Panthers and the Los Angeles Rams. I believe he even won a Super Bowl with the Los Angeles Rams. A lot of Buffalo Bills fans were not happy when we cut Austin Proehl, but remember, he was a 7th round draft pick. Remember, that's the same year we got Ray McLeod in the 6th round and then Austin Proehl in the 7th round. We double dipped on wide receiver, kept Ray McLeod on the roster that year, but we got rid of Austin Proehl. Wish him the best of luck, and maybe he can turn something out of this XFL thing, guys. Just because they're playing the XFL does not mean that they will not play in the NFL. In fact, the NFL has an off-season date set where they can pick up XFL players. And if you're a guy like an Austin Proehl who's going on practice squads and trying to make a way, what a way to spend an off season by having your play be on display for everyone to see, right? He's going to be able to play on the field, and everyone's going to be able to watch it, whether it be on Fox, ESPN, ABC. One of those networks is going to carry the Seattle Dragons games, and anyone who wants to watch, whether it be an NFL scout, whether it be a coach, whether it be a front office guy, they are going to be able to watch these guys make their names for themselves in the XFL. Next, we have offensive lineman Cyril Richardson. Cyril Richardson was a 5th round draft pick by the Buffalo Bills in 2014. He had 4 starts in 2014, but that's the only year he started for the Buffalo Bills. Did spend 2 seasons on the practice squad after that for the Buffalo Bills, but that's all we heard of him before we cut him after his contract ran out. And then for Seattle, the third player is tight end Ivan Rodriguez. Used to play for the Buffalo Bills at the tight end position, so that's the second tight end that we see on this list. So we see 2 quarterbacks with the DC Defenders. We have 2 wide receivers overall, Malachi Dupree and Austin Proehl, and now 2 tight ends with Kyrie Lee and Ivan Rodriguez. Moving on, you got 3 teams that have 2 ex-Buffalo Bills players each, so we're going to talk about them just for a little bit. You have the Houston Roughnecks, who have wide receiver Cam Phillips. Cam Phillips was mostly a practice squad player for the Buffalo Bills in 2018, ended up being a training camp cut in 2019. In 2018, he did play 2 games for the Buffalo Bills, had 1 completion in those 2 games, just couldn't quite make himself known on that Buffalo Bills Bills team. And also on the Houston Roughnecks, you have safety Trey Elston, was on the Bills in 2017. Actually had 13 starts for the Bills in that season where he collected 18 tackles and an interception. So expect to see him on the Houston Roughnecks. Next, you have the LA Wildcats. LA Wildcats probably have one of my favorite Bills players, ex-Buffalo Bills players that's playing in the XFL, and that's punter Colton Schmidt, I think behind Tyree Jackson, maybe Cam Phillips. Colton Schmidt did some great things while in Buffalo as the punter from 2014 to 2018, and there were plenty of times this season where we missed Colton Schmidt as our punter. He will be punting now for the LA Wildcats, still looking to prove something to the NFL, maybe get a job next season as an NFL punter. Again, he was the Bills punter from 2014 until 2018. Also on the LA Wildcats, you have offensive lineman Nico Siragusa. Now, some of you might remember Nico. He actually only spent about 10 days on the Buffalo Bills practice squad, was picked up in 2019, but then he was let go shortly thereafter. I remember doing a video on Nico just because of the last name Siragusa. No relation to Tony Siragusa, but I do remember doing that video, but he did not last long with the Buffalo Bills. Next, you have the St. Louis Battlehawks. St. Louis Battlehawks, another one of those teams that have two ex-Buffalo Bills players. That's wide receiver Brandon Riley. Same thing with Cam Phillips, was a practice squad wide receiver for most of his career. Didn't see any of the field other than the practice squad for the Buffalo Bills. And then you got running back Keith Ford. Some of you may remember him. Thought that he was going to be an up-and-coming running back at one point, was an undrafted free agent by the Buffalo Bills. Just never panned out. He did get to spend some time on the 53-man roster, but never quite worked out the way the Buffalo Bills had hoped, and so now he finds himself playing in the XFL. And you gotta be happy for these guys. Those are all the names of the ex-Buffalo Bills players playing in the XFL. 13 of them, I believe, I went through. But you have to be happy for those guys getting another opportunity to show what they can do. So let me know in the comment section what you guys think about the XFL. Do you think it's going to last? Do you think it's going to survive a full season unlike the AAF? Do you think that the XFL can compete? If not compete, maybe draw a good crowd comparatively to the NFL. Let me know what you think of the XFL in the comment section. Let me know what you think about some of these players. Who are you going to be looking out for? Is there a team you like, or are you, like me, going to check on these players? Talking about Cam Phillips, talking about Colton Schmidt, and of course, talking about quarterback Tyree Jackson. I look forward to watching it. I'll probably watch games here and there. I'm not going to be as committed to the XFL as I am the Buffalo Bills or the NFL or even the NHL. It's probably just going to be something I watch in my spare time. Let me know if you guys feel the same way, or if you're going to tune in this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, to watch some more football. It's not NFL, it's the XFL. Let's see if they can do it right, guys. Again, thank you for joining me on this edition where we talk about the XFL and the ex-Bills players playing in the league. I look forward to talking to you all soon. Like I said, subscribe, like this video, and leave a comment. I'll see you all soon. Until I do, go Bills.